Arizona Senate Republicans courageously announced today the audit team that will be performing the Maricopa County election audit, and it is definitely good news for America. These Republicans decided upon a team who will be performing the upcoming audit after interviewing several people, understanding that this is a very important audit. The Arizona Senate released this statement earlier today. Now, this statement it's quite big. But to sum it up, it says, after months of interviewing various forensic auditors, the Arizona Senate has found a qualified team consisting of Wake Technology Services Incorporated, Digital Discovery, and Cyber Ninjas Incorporated to conduct the audit. This is good stuff. We've waited a long time. There's the whole press release. We've waited a whole long time to get this going. Obviously, the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors really put a lot of roadblocks in place. They actually totally disregarded the Senate to the point where, there was a subpoena for the records. They just disregarded it, thrown up roadblock after roadblock. And I don't understand why if there's nothing to hide. So we'll have to wait and see how well the results of those audits performed by the auditors selected turn out against the ones that the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors actually brought up. I'm really curious. It's going to be interesting, and it's going to be good. These are some real heavy hitters in the forensic auditing. We expect a pretty material difference when there are. Just let the people here stand up and demand justice. That's what we've been doing. We've been demanding justice since the election. If you have nothing to hide, there's nothing to fear, this is not a problem, right? God bless the great state of Arizona and the patriots here who have demanded integrity in our elections. We thank our Senate for continuing to push the efforts, even when they've been told to ignore it, let it go. They've had roadblock after roadblock thrown up. May their efforts truly find the truth in what's going on. Personally, I would feel a lot better about Arizona if they would allow this to happen, get it over with, and tell us what the results are. And hey, if the results show that there's nothing, then I'll have to live with that, and I will come on the show right here and tell you, hey, they did it and found it, and there was nothing. But that being said, I'm truly excited after all the months of pandering and roadblocks and judge orders and, just totally ignoring our state Senate. I still don't understand how a Maricopa County, which is a county inside the state, can just disregard the state Senate, which oversees all counties. Completely asinine, right? Completely asinine. But I'm going to tell you, and I'm keep looking at this. This is, the other day we had a sponsor on the show, Cactus Tap Room. And today we got the privilege of actually receiving one of their crowlers. This is called Pizza Port Chronic. It is a beer that is actually on tap at their location. This was $11. They take this, they pressurize it. It is one of the best beers I have ever had. Pizza Port, it's 4.9 alcohol by volume. Pizza Port Chronic. I put this thing in the freezer because I love my beer cold, and I cracked it right when we were going through our warm-up screen. So tonight, because I'm unofficially media, I really don't have to perform, to the rest of the world. I'm going to be drinking my Chronic right here while I'm enjoying the stories that we have to bring you today and making this one of the most epic episodes we've had. Thank you, Cactus Tap Room. That is some good stuff. Let's get right to it. We have had one hell of a day. I'm going to tell you, I have waited all day for this show. So I had to choose my Tom McDonald shirt that says, clowns are everywhere. If you don't see one, you are one. That is our motto for today. Clowns are everywhere. If you don't see one, you are one. Thank you, Tom McDonald, for this killer shirt. Obviously, it was for the release of Clown World. Tom McDonald had a few weeks ago. We featured it right here on the show. It is an awesome song. Go support Tom McDonald. He is an awesome, his messages are amazing. So let's talk about Ocasio-Cortez. And let's talk about border kids in cages and all the people coming to the border. You hear it called a lot of things. You hear the hordes. You hear the trains, you hear the groups, the caravans, you hear all the people that are coming across. But Ocasio-Cortez has bashed Donald Trump so long during his administration, constantly calling out the kids in cages, right? Well, the woman is literally as offensive as she is stupid. Today, Ocasio-Cortez said anyone who is using the term surge, now that this is an offensive word now, around you consciously is trying to invoke a militaristic frame. This is not a surge, she said. These are children, and they are not insurgents. She then goes on to say this is a white supremacist idea and philosophy. This is how we do it. If you don't agree with it, make it racist. Make it racist. It makes it go away. It makes the truth. It's all this, racism is in the truth, right? So now, using the word surge in relation to the mass amounts of people who are coming to the border is invoking a militaristic frame. These are children, not insurgents. Guess what? They're freaking insurgents. They're insurging on our country, and they're coming to the border in droves by their parents who are just misguided and they don't care about the health of their children. They don't care about their children. They're using them as stepping stones to get here. I'm not angry that the kids are here. I'm angry why the kids are here. I'm angry why the parents are putting the kids to the border. The idea is the kids come here, then they'll send for the families, correct? Notice she hasn't made a single headline or gone down to any fake videos where she stands on the border fence on an empty tarmac and cries and hugs and has her little moment while she's talking about kids in cages. You know, the ones that she did during Donald Trump's administration. This is absolutely idiocracy in its best format. Check this out.
They want to say, what about the surge? Well, first of all, just gut check, stop. Anyone who's using the term surge around you consciously is trying to invoke a militaristic frame. And that's a problem because this is not a surge. These are children and they are not insurgents and we are not being invaded, which, by the way, is a white supremacist idea, philosophy. The idea that if an other is coming in the population, that this is like an invasion of who we are.
I don't think I have enough beer in this crowler to make her palatable. I'll be honest with you. She's hard to watch because she's such an idiot. I have nothing for Ocasio-Cortez. But I will tell you that this is how they downplay what's happening. Now, under a different president's watch, all the kids that were being handled at the border and put in detainment areas or holding areas were being kids in cages. Now, she's trying to justify all of these kids that are coming to the borders and not even going at the heart of the root why. There are so many interviews that are being done with these people who are coming here through these caravans and through these groups, and they're being asked, why are they coming here? And all of them say the same thing. We were invited by Joe Biden. Well, just a wake-up call for the rest of America. Every person that comes across this border illegally, every person that is given something that they have not earned, when there is thousands and thousands of great people out there that are following the Dreamer Act, that have been looking for citizenship, I will tell you again, I am in the construction industry. The construction industry has a lot of hardworking Mexicans in it, Hispanics, people from Mexico that have been fighting for their right to be here, going through the process, paying the thousands of dollars, working and paying taxes, going to court, showing up, doing what they're supposed to do for years and years. Many of these people came here when they were babies. Their parents brought them out here. They weren't born here. They were brought here. They've been threatened to be sent back to a country that they do not know. But yet, we are allowing thousands upon thousands of people to come across our borders and be given in-person schooling, be given rights, be given all types of things that they have yet to apply for. It's sickening. And in these kind of politicians like Ocasio-Cortez, she's trying to justify it and validate it. And she's trying to invalidate our concerns and our opinions that, yeah, it is a surge. It may not be a martial attack on our country. They may not be coming out there with firearms and taking over things. But they are coming here and they are disrupting our way of life in a way that takes tax dollars. These are our way of life, right? The government's way of life is collecting taxes, right? Our way of life is working for a better life and paying taxes to allow the government to collect taxes. If you and I didn't work and nobody else worked, the government wouldn't have any taxes to spend. Who would they get the money from? They just continue to manufacture these programs, and they continue to manufacture these policies that continue to extort the American people. And this is at these insurgents, yes, through the surge, is on the backs of the American people. It's sickening. But you know, we're not going to see good solid news. We're not going to see untainted news come out of Washington, not under this administration. Yesterday, it was reported that YouTube is working to remove the public dislike count total per the request of content creators. What content creators? Well, you know, the WhiteHouse.gov, Joe Biden, and several liberal and Democratic politicians. YouTube actually posted in their Twitter feed, this is what they said. In response to creator feedback around well-being and targeted dislike campaigns, we're testing a few new designs that don't show the public dislike count. If you're part of this small experiment, you might spot one of these designs in upcoming weeks. And they're excited about it. They even use a little explanation point. And here's the examples they have provided where you can still dislike the video. But the number of dislikes is hidden. Now, that's ironic, isn't it ironic, that none of this happened until Joe Biden got in office, right? And Joe Biden, I mean, are you kidding me? Let's just look at it. A dislike doesn't even provide details with colorful comments about our opinions. It's just a freaking number. But they're so concerned about the visual optics. Remember that word? Optics. Everything is optics right now. That they have to make sure that people are only seeing the narrative and the optics that they want them to see. I've been thinking about this since it happened in January. YouTube has spent a lot of their efforts defending Joe Biden. They've actually spent a lot of time taking down conservative voices. They did take down President Trump's CPAC. They totally silenced his CPAC speech. And it comes no surprise that 2 weeks ago, just 2 weeks ago, Joe's speech about COVID's anniversary got him 12,000 dislikes. And notice, 4.5 thousand likes. Now, go back to that screen for a minute, will you, please? Can you go back to that screen before, Lauren? 12,000 dislikes, 4.5 thousand likes. Now, it's important to know that this is a CNBC channel on YouTube. This isn't some conservative, right-wing, leaning, conspiracy type of network channel that goes out there to cause him harm. This is CNBC, right? 12,000 dislikes, 4.5 thousand likes. Well, that's pretty telling. Now, I don't see too many Trump videos that he had more dislikes than he had likes. In fact, I think he outweighed the likes and dislikes by thousands upon thousands. So again, let's use this as just a telling number. Where are the 81 million people that supported Joe Biden? Are you telling me that not 81 million people, we can't get 12.5 thousand people that like Joe Biden's comments, that like his speech, that want to hear him talk? But yet 12.5 thousand people will dislike it. So what that's telling you is two things. Either one, and it's probably two things that are together. One, there was not 81 million votes. Or two, the people who pay attention to the news are not Democrat. right? They're not paying attention to what's going on. They live in la la land and wait for their mailbox money. Then just today, in his speech talking about the $2 trillion infrastructure plan with an expectation to create millions of jobs, look at this one. We saw 144 likes and 922 dislikes. Now that's a pretty telling. Again, we're dealing with the same type of number configuration. There is an ample amount of people who will dislike Joe Biden on every speech, even on liberal-leaning, Democratic supporting networks. These are not Fox News. We're not going to Fox News and pulling you out where their base of viewers is high. Conservative, that's going to definitely not like Biden. You go to any channel, CNN, CSNBC, whitehouse.gov, and there's more people who dislike Joe Biden when he talks than like him, or Kamala Harris. They have yet to break the 50% median. They can't even get 50% of the likes to go with their dislikes. So thank you, YouTube, for stepping in and trying to even the score out a little bit and provide the optics that the president's a lot more popular than what he is. YouTube was actually caught red-handed removing dislikes from Joe Biden's White House page in January. When Jen Psaki held a press conference briefing with her leftist horde of the White House briefing room press after the Biden's inauguration. During this press conference, the American public was quick to downvote Psaki's nonsense. At 3 p.m., do we have the video for this? At 3 p.m., look at this. Can you zoom in on that? The video had 10,000 downvotes. 10,000! By 7 p.m., YouTube came to the rescue, threw him a life preserver, and erased the downvotes by several thousand. Look at the picture from the White House YouTube page at 3:11 p.m. There were 10,000 dislikes. I keep saying these are not small numbers of disparagements. These are large numbers. This is on Inauguration Day. Inauguration Day for the most popularly elected president in the history of the United States. How can you continue to buy the bullshit? How can you continue to allow this shit to be fed into you? Excuse my language, but I mean, let's get real about this. On Inauguration Day, the inauguration of the most popularly elected president in the history of the United States, and he was downvoted more times than he was upvoted. Don't you think that his supporters would be on hand to support him and to listen to him and to be excited about the administration? As the Trump supporters are, as the previous presidents, Obama never had this problem. Bill Clinton, George Bush never had this problem. And don't think George Bush was one of the most liked presidents out there, because he wasn't. But he was never downvoted in a disparagement. He never had more people dislike him in comments in the media than like him, no matter how much of an idiot he sounded like. And I love George Bush. I don't know. Man, we saw 3,000 dislikes. 3,000. Went from 10,000, 3,000 dislikes at 7:30. Looks like YouTube is making their website wide change because people in high power don't want the people to know how disliked Biden and his policies are. I mean, they got away with election fraud, right? For now. I think there's a lot that's going to come out. You can't, on this kind of scale, you've stolen the highest presidency, you've stolen the highest office in the land, if not the world. And you've done it by conveying to the American people that Joe Biden was just that much more popular, that they were that much more confident in the work he was going to do. But these kinds of avenues are clear avenues where we can detect openly fraudulent actions. Social media has made their place in politics well known. You agree with us or we'll delete you, we'll block you, we'll Facebook jail you, we'll ruin your account. It's just nuts. It's been clear, it's like throughout all the examples that we provide, why the mainstream media and social media are supporting and backing Biden's objectives at every turn. They're not even like giving him, they're not even really giving him real like any type of negative feedback. No matter how ridiculous his actions and policies are, they continue to ride the wave right down the line. There's no diverging from that. In fact, the harder that things are going, the more that they invoke their rights to suppress people's opinions. I mean, if YouTube was going to be fair about this change, should they take away numbers for both likes and dislikes? Should they say, hey, if the numbers don't really matter, then who cares how many thumbs up and thumbs downs you get? But the fact is they're only taking away the thumbs down. Now, accordingly, YouTube says that the people who own the content will know if people are downvoting it. That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is that these are public polls, right? I mean, essentially it's a public poll. And you're saying, hey, he's doing a good job, yay. But they're going to say, hey, the only people that can see the yays or the nays are the people who actually go and control the content. The only thing you're going to be able to see is how many likes he has. Isn't that creating a dangerous optics? Isn't that creating a dangerous rhetoric? Isn't that creating a dangerous suppression of opinion? It's ridiculous. So there's only one person I can actually hold responsible for making these changes, and that's actually the CEO of YouTube, Susan, and I don't even know how to say her last name, Wozicki. But in getting fired up about this story, because I truly believe that we need our voices to be heard, and it's something stupid. Somebody who watches a video and puts a thumb up, are they not letting their voice be heard, right? That's the idea. Are they not expressing an opinion? And now YouTube is saying, nope, your opinion doesn't agree with us, so we're going to go ahead and suppress it. We're going to go ahead and take it away. Just like we did to your vote. Your vote doesn't matter to us, doesn't matter who you want in office, we're going to take it away. So unfortunately, I mean, YouTube CEO Susan and all of the leftist media liberals at YouTube, they can be our clowns of the day, being headed off by the head clown, Susan Wojcicki. And just so you know, I intentionally mutilated her name because I really don't know how to say it. I had the cue card for me, like actually doing the whole pronunciation, just like Jen Psaki. Seeing her name, this one was too difficult for me. I just threw the card away because it really doesn't matter. I don't care that much about her. But you know what else the news media is not talking about? All the negative COVID-19 vaccines. We've actually done a lot of research, and we're starting to see that there's actually quite a few of these negative results out there. This week, 74-year-old Richard Terrell said he began to feel discomfort in his armpit 4 days after he received the COVID-19 vaccine this month. The Virginia man's skin swelled, burned, and then peeled off in reaction to Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19. Yep, that's the COVID-19 vaccine. Take a hard look at that. Soon he developed itchy rash and his skin began to swell, turn red, and burn. Just go ahead and leave that up for a minute. He said it was stinging, burning, and itching as he described the pain. Whenever I bent my arms and legs like the inside of my knee, it was very painful where the skin was swollen and rubbing against itself. After a few days, the rash covered his entire body and his skin peeled off. In another story this week, a mother's face, arms, chest, back, and legs erupted into an agonizing red rash after getting the AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccine. Leah King from North Lancashire in Scotland claimed her skin flared up almost immediately after she got her first dose 2 weeks ago, and she's still sore now. My skin was so sore and constantly hot, she said. I have never felt pain like this, and to say it's been the worst time of my life is an absolute understatement. Then, in today's news, workers at a Baltimore plant manufacturing 2 coronavirus vaccines accidentally conflated the vaccine's ingredients several weeks ago. Accidentally mixed up the doses, ruining about 15 million doses of Johnson & Johnson's vaccine and forcing regulators to delay authorization of the plant's production lines. Yep, because vaccines are also at the mercy of human error, just like everything else in this world. The plant is run by Emergent Biosolutions, a manufacturer partner to both Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca. Federal officials attributed the mistake to what? I just said it. Human error. Because that's what these vaccines are. They were rushed through. They were not regulated fully. They were not given a chance to have testing done on them. And then they were force-fed down the American people's throats, arms, legs, wherever you want to do it. And now you got all of these big-name actors and pro athletes out there talking about how great it is and how you're protecting your people and that you need to do your job. It's scary. Anti-vax. No vax, no vaccine card. No thank you. No vaccine desired, no vaccine required. Okay? The mistake is a major embarrassment. Of course it is for Johnson & Johnson, whose one-dose vaccine has been credited with speeding up the national immunization program. In conclusion, this was a human error. This mix-up is truly mind-boggling. Workers at the facility mistakenly mixed ingredients for the J&J vaccine with those of another manufacturer's coronavirus shot. So they took AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson's and oops, they put the ingredients together. That could be the reason why we have some people with nasty side effects. Oh, I don't know, I think I screwed it up. Ah, hell, send it out anyway, right? Given that their job is to make the stuff and the importance of this assignment based on the current, need for this pacifier for the American people that the government keeps stuffing in our mouths, it's just, how do you mix it up, Like we said, choose your poison. Choose it. Choose getting the coronavirus over risking yourself with the vaccine. The coronavirus, you kind of know it's going to be like a really bad flu with a 99.98 survival rate. All right. Maybe the vaccine's got a good survival rate too, but I think I'll pick my poison and allow my body to do its job, right? We have no idea what the late-term effects of these are going to be, where it's going to come down, what it's going to be in a year from now, what it's going to do to our children, what it's going to do to our immune systems. We have no clue. That's the purpose of taking a little bit of time to get things regulated through, This is an overreaction to a virus, and the damage to the overreaction is going to be more costly than the virus itself. It's going to cost more lives, more time, more everything than the virus actually did. At least we can be glad 15 million doses that were tainted. At least we can be glad that they were actually paying attention. Who knows how many of them they haven't caught, like mistakes they haven't caught. This is just a big one, right? What about the little ones, right? The ones that might cause somebody's skin to flare up or, a lot of discomfort. But at least they caught these 15 million before they really screwed over the American people. It's undeniable. Undeniable. They can't even put a twist on it. I want to look back at a article from earlier this month that Newsweek reported that more than 1 in 4 people who do not intend to get vaccinated cited concerns about drug companies. I'm one of those 1 in 4, citing concerns about drug companies, the fact that it was rushed and that I don't trust Big Pharma. They want us to be dependent upon medications, and I am not dependent upon medications. According to a February 26 CBS poll, 1 in 4 people do not intend to get vaccinated because of concerns with drug companies. Hundreds of social media posts have linked the vaccine with allegations that the company's talcum powder caused ovarian cancer in women and mesothelioma. There have been more than 20,000 lawsuits on this ordeal, and there have been more than suits that allege the company failed to warn customers of it, like something stupid like it's talcum powder containing tiny amounts of asbestos. That was what was in their talcum powder. Where do we use talcum powder? On our babies. Do you think Big Pharma cares about you? They care about profits because they make enough money to pay you off when there's a problem. And people bend over and take the money. In 2018, 22 women were awarded $4.69 billion in a trial in St. Louis County whom were affected by the talcum asbestos powder. This is one of the largest product liability verdicts ever in the United States, and people are apparently lunging to pharmacies to get this vaccine because the CDC has used media, has used actors, has used sports figures to bring fear and basically saying, hey, this is what you have to do. This is what I'm doing it. You're doing it. Yeah, the other day I watched something with Magic Johnson and Arsenio Hall and Danny, I think it's Trejo. He's an actor, the old guy, plays the the gangbanging Mexican in most of them. And they were like, doing this whole thing where they were getting their vaccination, and it was just dumb. I mean, it's just dumb. So we trust supposedly one of the worst viruses ever to hit the shores of the United States. We trust these drug manufacturers to inflate us or to insert their vaccine into our bodies willingly. We sign up for it. We get our little vaccine passport so we can feel good about our lives. When they have a company that was producing a talcum powder that was heavily used on babies with asbestos. Now, I'm not the smartest man in the room, but I'm not the dumbest either. And I can tell you that if you're willing to risk a baby, you could care less about me because the money is so big. Think about the amount of money that these companies have made off the government. And by making it off the government, you know what that means? They've made it off of, you and me. Because the government doesn't have money. Their business is the business of extorting the American people. Our taxes are an extortion of our labor. When you go to work, you get paid for an hour, a job, a salary, a piece, whatever it is. That's the effort you put out. The government comes in and says, okay, thank you. Here's my piece. Before you do anything else with your money, the government takes theirs, right? They extort us. And then they go give our money to Big Pharma, who then creates a drug that they charge us money for. Now, those endowments, that research is paid for by our money. Then they charge us an absorbent amount for the medications we need to stay alive. Why? So we can go back to work. So we can make money. So the government can get its taxes. And the cycle continues. We are like hamsters on a hamster wheel in America, ladies and gentlemen. We have our lives that we lead. And I love America. Please understand, I am the most American-loving person that there is. I love this country. What I don't love is bad politicians. What I don't love is bad policy. Hell, we're still paying for the 1889 Spanish-American War because once a tax hits the books, it never comes off the books. They reallocate the money, but they never reallocate the tax. The tax code is 3 times the size of the Bible. Is there anybody on this show that can tell me they've memorized the Bible front to back? And if you can, then dang it, please go and start working on the tax code because you're the smartest man in or woman in the world. I am sick of big pharma. Big pharma, big government, it all works in lobbying. It all works in that whole cycle of money. Take from the American people to give back to the big pharma so big pharma can give back to the politicians so they can take from the American people. The sooner we all realize politicians only exist because of us, their paychecks only exist because of us, their ability to write law only exists because of us. Every group of politicians goes in with an idea. They go in with an ideal or an idea. Some go in for all the wrong reasons. Some go in for all the right reasons. But I will tell you, in order to affect change, you have to affect writing policy. And everybody wants to be responsible for writing something. Well, when you write something, it costs money. I'm going to use a small business example. I'll try not to talk your ear off. I'm going to use a small business example. When I started my company, it was myself, my friend, and a small group of employees, like 5. As I got bigger, I had to write more policy, and then I had to implement those policies, which required me to hire more people. So I had to go get more work to get those people paid for so that I could write more policy so I could hire more people. Pretty soon, I got to a point where I realized that I had so many employees and so many policies and so many things in place that I was working for the policies. Okay? I was working for the company. I was working for the money to move around in this circle because I had to keep hiring and hiring and hiring and hiring to perfect these policies. I had to create new departments. I had to create new positions. I had to buy new computers. I had to buy new trucks. Everything became an expense. Do you think the government's any different? It's way different. Here's the reason why. It is unchecked. It is unchecked. There is nobody that is checking that business. With a small business owner, and all the small business owners in the United States, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm one of you. We get up, we work 12, 14, 16, 18-hour days. We bust our ass, go home with the stresses. These politicians have no stresses. They talk about money amounts that are just astronomical. 2 trillion here, 1.9 trillion here, a few billion over here. It doesn't even mean anything to them. And here's what we learn as small businesses. That until an employee can understand the money and how it works for you and what it takes for you to earn it, they never understand how they F it off. The government is like an employer, and they make us their indentured servants. We show up to work willingly to give them money, and then we go to the polls to vote them in on how to spend our money, but we let them get away with the most asinine stuff because they all have to compromise. The Democrats have to compromise with the Republicans in order to get this bill passed. We're going to allow a certain amount of pork. There's no acceptable tolerance in the way you spend my money. If you were to come to my house, take my ATM card and go to the ATM and pull money out at will, I would beat your freaking butt. But we allow the government to do just that every single day. Don't you get fired up? Don't you get excited about that? Doesn't that make you angry? Big Pharma. These people, these stories, these are the real stories of what's going on in America. They screwed up 15 million vaccines. Do you think they're going to pay for that? No, they're going to bill it out. They're going to bill it to you and me as they're trying to force this crap force us into doing it. And then tell us that we get a vaccine card. That way we willingly go pay to get our things done. And we get in our cars and we drive down there and we let them stick this crap in my arm. No. Come on, people. This is America. There was a time when America belonged to the people. And if you think it belongs to the people today, you're sadly mistaken. Take a deep breath for a minute because I don't want to end the show like that. So I knew I was going to get fired up today. I knew it was going to be one of those shows that I just started laying out the emotion. So check this out. We're going to end the show with the neighborhood cat that ran off with a pair of dentures after the false teeth flew out of the elderly woman's mouth while she bickered with her husband. The lady was fighting with her husband, running her mouth, and her teeth fall out. What makes it extra bizarre and funny is that the cat was wearing a collar camera. Yeah, a collar camera. There's no way they could have expected this. And the point of view video was filming the entire event. This all happened in the UK. Check this out.
Sausage roll in the street, we're going to trying to get to the left.
Look, see the little cat.
Oh yes, a little cat.
Oh, reminds me of our little Megan.
Oh, don't encourage it.
I'll give it a bit of that sausage
Right,
roll.
what?
Oh, yeah.
That's my sausage roll. I can't eat it in the street, but the really cat can. You dropped your teeth, you silly sausage.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I ordered 2 collar cams today for my cats. And I'm hoping to come up with some funny videos. I now wonder what they're up to when I'm not around. I have a big fat Siamese cat. He's like 21 pounds. Probably the coolest cat you've ever seen in the world. And I know he goes out and creates mischief. I just want to know what he does. And then I got my old cat. His name's Kitty. I found him years ago in the engine compartment of one of my trucks. I named him Kitty because I wasn't going to keep him. And I'm still looking for a home, so if you're looking for a cat, I've had him, and I've been looking for a home for about 15 years now. I'm still hoping to find him a good home, and maybe he'll get a name other than Kitty. But if you didn't laugh at that, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with me. I know I'm laughing at it. But we have a good time on the show. We have a great time being here for you, and we hope that the stuff that we continue to bring out is helping you understand the passion that needs to be behind what's happening. Every day we move to bring a little bit more in-depth understanding of how our government's completely sticking it in our butts. I mean, they are really doing a number on us. We are no different than indentured servitude. This is what it is. We go to work to pay our taxes. You don't pay your taxes, you get penalized. You possibly can go to jail. They have us over a barrel. And it's so funny to me that there are people who are able to live in this world without getting up and going to work. I guess they figured out the magic formula. That's not me. I get up, I work 7 days a week. I put in a full 12, 14-hour days, and then we put together a show and I go back to work. I do it day in and day out to provide for myself and my family, make sure that my kids and my grandkids are taken care of, and make sure that my employees are always first in getting their paychecks on Friday. I've never missed a payroll in over 22 years, except for my own. That's America. Small businesses built America, and companies like Big Pharma and politicians are continuing to steal America from us. It's time to let your voice be heard. Make it be heard at the polls. Make it be heard online. Make it be heard in conversation. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to stand up and be convicted. Do not be afraid to stand up and let your voice be louder than the rest. And you don't have to threaten people and get in their face and threaten to burn down their businesses or cancel culture them. You just have to be on the side of the truth. And that's where we are every day right here on Clown World Network. On that note, we hope you enjoyed the episode. We continue to trudge through this week. It's hump day. You got 2 days left before the weekend. And don't forget, Easter's on Sunday. So as we get through the end of the week, we really appreciate you being here. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow, and please comment down below. As always, be good to each other. Know that I love you. We'll talk to you all again real soon. Remember, if you don't see the clowns around you, it's probably because you are one. Thanks again, Tom McDonald and the Tap Room, the Cactus Tap Room. Support your local businesses. I want to hear all of the good comments about this because you will love it. Have a great evening.